Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has used her first speech to the United Nations General Assembly to challenge Donald Trump's worldview, although she won't admit it. The US President's address this week rejected globalism, indicating his administration would continue its path away from international cooperation, rejecting bodies like the International Criminal Court and the Paris Agreement. But Jacinda Ardern took the opportunity today to warn about the consequences of shunning these international institutions, a direct and stark contrast to the US President. Our Deputy Political Editor Chris Bramwell is at the UN headquarters in New York and filed this report.
I have great pleasure in welcoming the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Her Excellency Jacinda Ardern.
Jacinda Ardern carried with her an orator's comb gifted to her by Ngāti Rihia as she gave her first speech in the United Nations General Assembly. She delivered a sound performance and drew rare applause at one point when she spoke about the need for gender equality.
It seems surprising that in this modern age we have to recommit ourselves to gender equality, but we do. And I, for one, will never celebrate the gains we have made for women domestically, while internationally other women and girls experience a lack of the most basic opportunities and dignity. Me Too must become We Too. We are all in this together.
The Prime Minister's speech couldn't have been more of a contrast to the US President's address, which rejected globalism and highlighted his administration's domestic accomplishments. Jacinda Ardern emphasised the need for international cooperation to tackle global issues, backing the rules-based system, and using the word that's been heard a lot at the UN this week, multilateralism. She spoke of the impact climate change was having in the Pacific and pushed for countries to adhere to the Paris Climate Agreement, which the US has withdrawn from.
If my Pacific neighbours do not have the option of opting out of the effects of climate change, why should we be able to opt out of taking action to stop it? Any disintegration of multilateralism, any undermining of climate-related targets and agreements aren't interesting footnotes in geopolitical history. They are catastrophic.
Ms Ardern's partner Clark Gayford and daughter Neve watched her speak from the side of the main floor. When the Prime Minister was about a third of the way through her speech, Neve started crying and Mr Gayford whisked her away, later returning with her settled in his arms. Jacinda Ardern has made history this week by becoming the first female head of state to attend the UN General Assembly with her infant. So was it off-putting to hear her daughter cry?
I did. No, I did hear her, but you didn't notice it throw me off my game, did you? No, I did hear her, but no, it didn't move.
Jacinda Ardern would not say whether her speech was in any way a response to Donald Trump's address, but she did concede that much of it did counter his views.
Oh, that's simply because New Zealand takes a unique view. We have a unique perspective and we've had that for a long time.
She was asked whether it was a deliberate strategy that she hadn't used the US President's name all week.
Oh, I'm here to represent New Zealand. It's not all about one other leader.
Do you like Donald Trump?
Oh, look, I don't know Donald Trump. I know the President of the United States.
Do you like President of the United States?
Oh, look, I don't think that anyone comes to the United Nations for a popularity contest. We come here to present our nation's views, and I hope I've done that.
Is it a yes or a no?
It's an irrelevant question.
Jacinda Ardern has walked a very careful line with her approach to any questions about her position on Donald Trump and his administration the entire time she's been in the United States. But as with any of these kinds of discussions in politics, it's more about what was not said than what was. In New York for Checkpoint, Chris Bramwell.